Hello and welcome. We're back at General Games with the PTQ IXALAN? IXALAN?
That's correct.
Rivalers of IXALAN, that's the one. All right. PPTQ. Format is modern. This is round 5. We have Riley Jones versus David Tyson? I can't pronounce that. Grixis Shadow playing against you, Blue, White, Red, Nahiri. All right, so what do we got? So plays have both started already. Currently, it's a land piece. All right, what are we expecting here? So let's go over the decks.
All right, so we've got Grixis Shadow versus Jeskai Nahiri. The Grixis Shadow deck is very similar to just a Grixis control deck, but their threat counter includes a Shadow of Death?
Death Shadow.
Death Shadow.
Yeah, Death Shadow, that one.
Sorry about that. Which is a 13/13, and it gets neg1 counters equal to the amount of life you're on.
Yes.
Neg, not counters,
yes,
sorry.
Yes, neg.
So it plays cards that injure itself a lot, so fetch lands, shock lands.
Yep.
And we'll try to get its life below 13, which is the threshold before it becomes a 1/1.
Yep. Seeing a Thought Scour there.
Then it'll have a big creature in play. It also plays your Delve cards, which is what the Thought Scour is there for.
Yeah, it fills up its graveyard, lowers its own life count. But basically it's a control/aggro kind of deck. Yeah,
so it just gets to play both sides of the field. It can turn the corner very quickly, tries to stabilize against the more aggressive decks.
And suddenly it's got a 10/10
and then just suddenly has a 10/10 or a 5/5 with Go-Mag Angler.
Yep.
And then we'll just try to turn the corner really quickly.
Yep. And on the other side of the table, we see the more of a pure control deck. As like we can see immediately, we have a Chalice for 1 in play already. Sort of a typical like blue white red control kind of deck, but has a sort of the hidden, like it's got the Planeswalker element there.
Are you sure he's Jeskai? He's I think he might just be straight red white.
Straight red white. Okay. Well,
so like the Sun and Moon decks.
Maybe. We'll see. It might be just a minor splash. It might be just a blue splash. We'll double check that. So that's a Simian Spirit Guide going to be removed.
Gideon the Trials.
Play a Gideon.
So what this deck is trying to do, its primary win con is Nahiri into Emrakul, Aeons of Torn.
Yeah, Emrakul's the Aeons Torn, I believe it's called.
Which is a 15/15. With the Nahiri, it gets ripped out of the deck and has haste.
It is the only creature in the deck, right? Like the way they play it is the Emrakul would be the only creature in the deck. Everything else is
varies list to list. I know the actual Jeskai version of this plays Vendilion clicks and which allow you to get the Emrakul back into your deck, so the Nahiri can refetch it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which is why I'm not, especially with Gemstone Caverns, I'm not 100% sure he is actually, and it's just been corrected.
Yeah, okay, so he's just straight red white. Okay.
So the Chalice is to turn off a lot of the quick interaction cards, which is very good against the Grixis Shadow because most of their cards are 1-drops.
Yep.
He gets to play around a little bit with these Delve cards.
Was that a sec? Did we just see the second Simian Spirit Guide? I want to make sure.
Yes.
So he did. There was 2. Okay, good. Yep. Just making sure. Looked like he was in the exact same spot as the previous ones. I wasn't sure if he double dipped there. So as we see on Riley's side of the table, we have the Go-Mag Angler delved up, and that's facing down 2 Planeswalkers there, the Gideon and the Nahiri. Not 100%. I can't remember exactly what the Gideon does.
So Gideon's +1 is target permanent, can't deal damage, I believe. That might not
damage?
Prevent damage.
Yep.
We can actually see here now mainboard out to the Chalice. So we can get out from under that with the Culligan's Command.
Yes.
Which is
that's nice.
Really good card.
Yeah, great card. Very playable in many formats.
Yeah, so Gideon is +1, prevent damage from target permanent.
Yep.
0 is make him a 4/4, indestructible. Then his other 0 is make an emblem as long as you control a Gideon.
Right. Yeah, you can't lose.
You can't lose.
You can't lose, correct. Yep. Awesome.
Which is really sweet in like these sort of Sun and Moon decks.
Yeah, which I imagine is playing more than one type of Gideon. It'd be playing more than one variation of the Gideon Planeswalker as well, I imagine.
I would imagine he might play the 5-drop Gideon.
Yep.
The one that forces to tax. I can't remember his name. Is it just Gideon Jura?
Oh, Gideon Jura, yeah, old school Gideon.
Just Gideon Jura?
Back in my day of Magic, yeah. Gideon Jura, the house. Yeah, all creatures must attack him, and he can destroy tapped creature, and he's also can just swing in for 6. Yeah, that's my days of Magic. That's what I learned to play with.
Oh, jeez, we can. So quite the board here.
Wow. So we see Death Shadow is in play. So Death Shadow's been played. The Tasiga of the Golden Fang has been delved, and suddenly Riley's board is impressive.
I think David's in a bit of trouble here. He had 1 card in hand, so unless this is like land plus Wrath of God.
Is that a Blood Moon in his hand? So he's sitting on land Blood Moon here, I think. Yeah, which is not...
Blood Moon does not do anything on this board. It just gives Riley 2 mountains because he's got a basic island and a basic swamp already.
It does not answer the on-board.
So he's got the Scry, so he can try to dig for the Wrath of God.
Yeah, but I mean... So how big is the... So the Death Shadow at the moment is a 13/13 minus 9. So it's only... Yeah.
It's little.
Is it just a 2/2? Yeah, it's an 11/11. Sorry, not a 13/13. My bad. Oh, right, so it's minus its current... I'm getting it all confused.
It's a 2/2.
It is a 13/13 minus his current life, not
total.
his missing
so
life.
So it's a 2/2.
Yeah, of course. Yep, so it's currently a 2/2 as oh, man, modern cards. All right, so what do we see
Anger
here?
of the Gods.
That is something. That will answer one.
Clean that up, which means that both his Planeswalkers are going to live, because I assume that's going to target the Gurmag Angler here.
Yes, yeah.
So you'll get to retain both his Planeswalkers, which... gives him a lot of time.
It does. It takes him a lot of time there because presumably the Death Shadow was going to get bigger this turn.
Regardless if it got bigger or not, he would have the option to kill one of the Planeswalkers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you could just pick one and 2 creatures get through. So the main deck Anger of the Gods there showing that this obviously deck needs to answer creatures. Any deck that's going to go wide with more than a couple creatures is going to become an issue for the red, white, and Nahiri deck. So
this will be an interesting top deck. I think it dictates 100% what he's going to do. Oh, the Colligan's Command in draw step. Shoot down the Nahiri and discard the Blood Moon. Ooh. Oh, it's a Blood Moon. No.
Well,
doesn't do anything on the board.
Doesn't do much, but doobs.
So
Colligan's Command doing work this game.
We're probably just going to see the Gideon tick up and a pass. There's not a lot that can happen here. This is looking strongly favoured in Riley's direction.
He's once again going to target the
Gurmag
Angler because currently the biggest fish in the sea.
That's Gideon dying next turn. That Street Wraith being cycled. Pushes Riley down another 2 life, which will make the Death Shadow a 4/4.
Yep.
So both the Tasiga and the Death Shadow can go after the Gideon. So so straightforward.
Very likely going to drop the Gideon. He's got a Thought Scour in hand. I'm not sure what the other card is.
Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize and Thought Scour.
I mean, you fire...
I think you just kill Gideon.
Just kill Gideon.
You're almost pretty happy to just pass here.
Just pass, hold up the Thought
You don't want to really commit more creatures to the board. So drawing a creature here, you don't really want to play it anyway, so you're just going to passing.
Fires off the Thought Scour there anyway, just to get another card in hand.
So you draw a Fatal Push, which in this matchup is nothing.
Yeah,
I imagine it's straight up a dead card.
Imagine that's going to be boarded out. It does kill his own Death Shadow.
I don't think that does a lot. Unless David's playing like Lightning Helix.
Maybe.
So you could remove the target for the Lightning Helix so the life gain doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but
conceivable. David is definitely playing. We did see one earlier in the game.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
It's
pretty high
fringe.
level. It's very fringe. I don't think it's enough to keep it in post board.
So what are we seeing here? In response to Thoughtseize, he's tapped 2 mana. I missed the card that he drew. I think he brought it straight to the table. I don't think he showed the camera.
No, it's just we're about to see it though. Well, we're about to see it's either being cast or it's being
discarded or
discarded.
Cast.
It's going to be cast.
Bless Alliance.
Okay, so this is a card I do not know.
So it's Escalate,
Okay.
1 and a white. Escalate, you can pay an additional 1 to use a mode.
Yep.
It is sack target creature, gain 4 life, or untap 2 creatures, I believe.
Okay.
That last one I'm not 100% sure on.
So target
doesn't come up very often.
Is it target player sacrifices
Target player sacrifices a creature. which is why we saw the Death Shadow go down.
Yeah, Death Shadow goes away, but he's still left with two very large creatures, which will make a very...
Which is interesting. I almost feel like I'd sack the Angler there. Shadow's likely to get bigger.
Yeah, the Shadow's only ever going to get bigger.
He wants to keep the Tasker because it has an ability.
Yeah, of course.
It's probably just getting back Thoughtseize, but
I don't know. Like maybe, yeah. Interesting that he chose to discard the card, the creature he chose to sacrifice there. I don't know. Maybe just happy to, in case his life total doesn't go lower, he just wants to keep the guaranteed size creatures.
Yeah. I guess he's made the choice, and he's going to have to live with it, regardless of whether we think it's correct or not.
Well, either way, he still has.
But now we've seen a Gurmag Angler come down here, which is going to refine his graveyard, so he doesn't get his bricks from the graveyard.
Yes.
Because David is the one that gets to choose which card he gets back.
Yeah, exactly. So Tasker's ability being,
and we're scooping it up.
We're just scooping it up. Yeah,
that was probably just a land or something.
Yeah. Tasker's ability being you mill 2
it was
first,
a plains.
right? Yeah, so draw planes. Yeah, so you mill 2 first, and then your opponent chooses instant or sorcery to give you back, or is it any card?
Non-land.
Just non-land. Okay,
just non-land.
Yeah. Jeez, Tasker's a good card.
If it hits 2 lands off the top when it mills, you normally get gas back.
Yeah, you get something back. Yeah,
when you cast him, he refines your graveyard.
Yeah,
himself.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. What's it called? Cast
Delve.
Delve. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
I know Magic. You delve very selectively. And leave the good stuff behind.
I do miss casting Tasker in Standard.
Oh, man, I play Tasker in Highlander. So both players going to have a look, see what they're going to pull out. Looks like Riley's pulling out.
Those Fatal Pushes can't come out quick enough.
Yeah.
A lot of his discard is still good. I think he had some Inquisitions in there.
Yeah, I think he pulled out an Inquisition. Interesting.
Maybe Riley doesn't realise what he's versing.
Yes. Well, he didn't see much. He saw 2 Planeswalkers. But I mean, that should be. He saw red.
Here comes the Fatal Pushes out now.
Yeah. Well, he saw red and white. So he saw the color. He saw the land base. Obviously, he saw
he saw a Chalice.
And he saw Gideon, and he saw a.
So seeing the Chalice game 1 probably indicates to you that he's not playing 1-drops.
Yeah.
Or quick creatures.
Yeah. The blind. Well, it was a blind. It was also. I mean, unless David has some insight into what Riley's playing, it was a.
Riley's keeping some Fatal Pushes in.
Weird. Oh, well, unless David has a very good insight into what Riley's playing, he just, it was a blind Chalice on 1. So, I mean, which is obviously very good against the Death Shadow deck, but if you're doing that, it sort of, to me, as you say, it would sort of tell your opponent that, I'm not playing any 1-drops either.
Very interesting to keep the Fatal Pushes in. I suppose he might be expecting some creatures come out from the board, potentially.
Yeah. Okay.
There's that new 3/1 for 1 and a white that you can exert, and it becomes a 4/4 with lifelink.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he might be expecting that, because I do recall a list doing well at a GP.
Sure.
They were main board, but you could expect them out of the sideboard.
Sounds like a pretty good creature. So both players seemingly have. Looks like David's having some troubles with his hand there. I don't know what he's done.
I was watching him earlier in the day, and he's got the knack quite down for putting it down on the table to level it off.
That's dedication right there, man. That looks like he's done some pretty serious damage to his hand.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It might have just been a burn or something, but yeah, it's very impressive how he does squares it off on the table very well.
Yeah, he's worked it out. Done something with his finger.
Hurt his finger. Severed a tendon.
All right, that's unpleasant. All right, you don't want to be doing that.
No.
Your tendons should definitely remain attached at all times.
Is that comment? Don't do this at home, kids?
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, but jeez. All right, so both players shuffling up for game 2. It will be, I'm assuming, in almost every case, David's going to want to be on the play.
Yes. It's pretty much every deck in Modern except for 8-Rack.
Yes.
8-Rack wants to go on the draw, not because they want to be on the draw, they just don't want the opponent to get the extra card.
Yes, they want to get their cards down as quick as possible.
So I think if David's been playing Modern a lot recently, he would have a very good plan to verse Grixis Shadow or any Shadow variant.
Yeah, it's been around a lot. It's definitely a strong deck at the moment.
Yeah, so a lot of the top pros were Shadow is the best deck. If you're not playing it, you're wrong.
Yep.
Sort of a mindset. So coming to a PPTQ, like where you're trying to get to the top level.
You're playing against the meta. You've definitely got to... You definitely have to consider what is obviously going to be there. You're either... What's the rule? You're either playing the meta or you're playing against the meta.
Yeah, and I think more than likely David's chose his deck to beat the meta.
Yep.
I don't know the matchup very well.
It's interesting.
I would imagine David has a plan for this matchup, whereas Riley might not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the advantage of playing, not playing the meta deck is that the meta deck doesn't necessarily have have a good strategy against every deck, whereas the deck that you take, knowing what you're going to be versing, you can tailor a strategy and have a sideboard strategy in place long before you even sit down at the table.
He's taken an unlucky mulligan.
Yeah, so he's gone to 6, I think.
I'm not 100% sure it was in the 7. I saw a few Planeswalkers.
I did see some Planeswalkers.
So I imagine it was lacking lands.
Yeah, I saw a land. I don't know beyond that.
Leyline, 2 lands, Simeon, Chandra? Is that Chandra? No, it's a Configurate. I can't.
I think it's a Chandra.
That's Chandra.
Yeah, Torch.
And a Blood Moon.
Chandra Torch. Interestingly, would the Leyline of Sanctity be off the board?
Leyline Sanctity is definitely coming out of the board.
Just to protect against the hand disruption?
Yes, I believe so. David doesn't have a lot of fast mana. He has the Gemstone Caverns and the Simeon Spirit Guides, but a lot of his cards cost 4 mana. Like, they just can't come out that quickly.
Yeah, right.
This also helps prevent burn going to the face.
I suppose, because it is the Grixis deck will be playing, obviously, the 4 bolts. And
no, I don't believe they'd play 4, but I do believe Riley's playing some number in his list.
Some number of bolts, okay.
And then you also get to prevent Colligan's Command from just going upstairs.
Yeah, it's just a good card, I guess.
I think, because traditionally you bring them in Leylines in against Jund and Abzan, who have the Inquisitions and
the very direct hand disruption. So Riley leads with
Scalding Tarn,
and that's going to be that's Arid Mesa fetching a Sacred Foundry.
And I think that's coming in tapped, so we might just see a pass back.
So this is fetching the...
he's on the draw. Sorry, you're right. Right.
Yeah, so he's fetching end of Riley's turn. Yep, so I imagine, I'll be untap draw. Yep, there we go. So that was the end of Riley's turn.
I imagine we potentially see a Blood Moon try to come down this turn.
Basic planes. Yeah, the early Blood Moon...
And we do.
Yep, so Riley...
So in response has to fetch. Because that's just a mountain if... Not
gonna fetch.
I think he might have made a mistake here.
Not fetching a basic.
Yeah.
Does he plays basics, right?
Yeah. Well, we saw a mountain and an island and a swamp.
Unless he has an answer to.
Oh, he's got a counter.
Response. Oh, he's got the counter.
Oh, stubborn.
Right. Ooh, stubborn denial.
Here we are questioning him.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. He's 3-1. We're not. All right. Fair enough. So stubborn denial. I know the caveat that is when you have a large creature, but what's this? If you don't have a large creature?
It's just Force Spike.
It's just a straight Force Spike. Okay.
Force Spike with upside.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you have a creature with power 4 or greater, it is just a counterspell to a non-creature.
Oh, fair enough.
I shouldn't say it's just Force Spike because it has to target a non-creature spell.
Yeah, sure. Well, in this case, doing some work there, definitely keeping Riley in the game. I mean, an early Blood Moon there would have definitely made Riley's keep very bad. His fetches wouldn't have been too great.
Yeah, I don't think David could play around that at all. I think he had to go for it. He's not doing anything. He has no removal. He has to try to be proactive to a certain degree.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't imagine that Riley plays a huge number of counter of Permission. So
those stubborn denials would definitely be coming out of the board.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So gonna start similar to last game.
And we see he did keep the fatal pushes in.
Yeah, kept the pushes,
which is peculiar. He might just have a friend that plays some sideboard creatures in a certain way, or
maybe, or he just doesn't want to get caught out, or just maybe he doesn't have. The other thing with sideboarding, obviously, is you don't always necessarily have better cards in your board. You might only have a few cards.
That's true.
So for the lack of better cards, there's no point taking everything out just because it's not necessarily good in the matchup. But anyway, so the good start here from Riley. Nice early
ripped another stubborn denial as well.
Big fish.
Stubborn denial is just a straight counter now.
It is, yes. With the Go Angler in play.
David's Chandra, who plays another land, or Nahiri.
Yeah, right.
He can't play either at the moment without a land. So
yeah, Riley in a great spot here.
This is getting countered.
Yeah, that's unlucky. That's unlucky. All right, so David in a very rough spot now. The big fishes on the offense, and Riley's backed it up with two very well timed counter spells. I don't think David doesn't even have. He's got like what, 2 cards left in hand?
He's got just Chandra, which does not deal with the Gurmag Angler.
Does not.
I think same thing again as last time. He can't play around these cards. He's behind already. Yep. He needs that Gurmag Angler answered, so he needed to bring the Nahiri down and hope that there wasn't an answer.
Yeah.
And
so again, Riley demonstrating the power of card advantage as well. I mean, the double thought scours, getting those cards, getting those extra cards into your hand.
It doesn't get extra cards into your hand because it replaces itself.
Of course, it just draws one. Of course,
but it puts extra cards into the bin, which is...
it gets a fish into play, though. Of course, it doesn't draw extra cards. Of course not. Oh, man. I'm used to the broken cards. The Modern plays too many fair cards, man.
But you get to see like stuff like the Street Wraith, which is free to cycle, so it's not costing you any mana.
Yep.
So essentially, you get to play a 56 card deck.
Yep.
Then you're also playing 4 Serum Visions and 4 Thought Scour.
Yep.
So you get to filter down again. They're not free, but they do allow you to
they allow you to play your Delve stuff.
Get through your deck a lot quicker, play your Delve stuff.
Yep.
So you get to see your good cards a lot more often than a lot of the other decks do.
So Chandra did come down.
I imagine it's just going up. Most likely just ticking up for 2 burn. Because going down here doesn't do anything. Waiting on Riley, we were there.
I think Riley was deciding whether or not it resolved.
I'd imagine you just let it resolve here because Gurmag Angler is a 5/5. So it just gets to beat it down next turn. Oh, Hero's Downfall.
Hero's Downfall, that's big.
I could see an argument for not killing it with the Hero's Downfall there, but I assume he just wanted to be mana efficient.
Yeah, I agree. It can be played a few different ways. I mean, let's not also... Is Riley's life total correct? Is he on 5? Has he done that much damage himself?
He's cycled Death Race twice. He's fetched 3 shocks now.
So he has definitely done that amount of damage to himself.
And Chandra's pinged him for 2. So there's not a lot of life pressure from David's side. I would potentially be a little on the worried side about just like 2 random
I was about to say,
lightning helix.
Just a lightning helix into a lightning bolt or something like that.
But most likely those come out and he's packed it up.
David's seen enough. He did not get to play much Magic.
He needed something that turn to live.
That was rather unfortunate. David had a decent couple of cards and was shut down quite efficiently by some other decent cards.
Yes. I'm not going to say that David was unfavoured in that matchup.
No.
Riley had some very good draws.
Yes.
But I do think David was a little on the unlucky side.
And Riley just playing well as well.
And Riley did play well.
Kept the correct cards.
Those 2 stubborn Niles back to back probably what decided game 2.
Yeah, it definitely had a big impact on that game there. So that was a quick one, unfortunately. That was round 5, right? So we have to cut to 8.
We have 6 rounds.
Oh, 6 rounds. Whoa. Jeez. Okay. Yep. Cool. 40 players. All right. I missed that. All right. So we have 40 players in the room. So there will be one more round. And then we will be cutting to top 8.
Correct.
And we'll be covering all the way through, right up to the final.
Do we have a backup feature match at all?
I don't believe so. Not today.
Okay.
It's not in place, unfortunately, a few minor technical issues. But no, we have... might have it up ready for round 6, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks, guys. I'm Marcus. Kyle. Thanks, guys.